got involved in the selective buying campaign.
Right.
Can you talk about how did you initially get involved in the movement?
Okay, I was at the first meeting when John Patterson, I think, was the governor of Alabama. He succeeded in outlawing, effectively banning the NAACP. And I was at the meeting when Reverend Shuttlesworth, I think we was at the old A.G. Gaston Funeral Home building. That's not too far from here, right around the corner. We had the initial meeting to form the Alabama Christian Movement for Human Rights. And then later on, we participated in the meeting when Reverend Shuttlesworth wanted to test segregation on buses in Birmingham. I was at that meeting, and I remember when we all signed pledges or agreements that we would not participate in any violence. We would not strike back if we were struck. And we had our designated points where we would board the bus in downtown Birmingham and ride. But since I lived in Fairfield, I boarded what they call 41 Express that went from Birmingham down 3rd Avenue North up to Fairfield. And I boarded at where I think Parisian at that time was located, one of the department stores on down, on 2nd Avenue over there. And when the driver got down to the, what we call the car barn, where the Birmingham Transit used to own, I think that Adam Hotel, they call it now, is located there. But anyway, the only people, I sat in the front of the bus. I made sure the whites were behind me as well as in front of me. The only persons who started kind of mumbling, of course, was coming from the back of the bus, you know. So the driver stopped, and when they got to the car barn on 3rd Avenue and about 14th Street, I heard them when they said, oh, you know, we got a smart nigger on the bus. And he got off as if he's going into the office. I guess he thought I was going to get up and move, you know. So we stayed there, and finally he came back.
Just you alone?
I was the only one who was up front in an integrated fashion. And we had been instructed what to do, take a name if we saw it, a number if we saw the badge, whatever. And of course we did that. He said, oh, I see he can write, you know. But when he came back, he didn't say anything. So I rode the bus, I got off in Fairfield.
Now was this approximately what year?
That was about, I would say, around when he was testing that, it must have been about 57.
Okay, this is prior to, okay, yeah.
Yeah, sometime.
This is really the initial testing of the buses.
Right, that was the initial. So I rode, I was not arrested. Now later on, I learned there was about 13 students from my high, some of them was arrested because I had a first cousin. When they went, he was one of those who was arrested. That incident, I remember the bombing of Reverend Shuttlesworth's church over there when that occurred also. I remember when he was beaten with chains in Phillips High School down there. Now the movement was meeting at various churches, from church to church. Now my mother, my father, and I had an uncle, we all would go to the meetings on Monday nights.
Did they get you involved, or did you get them involved?
Well, they kind of got me involved. They loved the meeting. They admired Reverend Shuttlesworth. And Reverend Shuttlesworth was just a man. He instilled courage into those who was following, because he seemed to have been just fearless. And through all of that, he kept some humor in it also.
Now, this period where that is evolving here to develop this movement was sort of centered around the mass meetings. Yeah. If you were to try to explain to children today what a mass meeting was like, how would you explain it?
Well, I would say this mass meeting was a result of people being oppressed, all people, regardless as to how much money they had, regardless as to the extent of their education. You were just a black person, you were just a Negro. So we all felt the pains. And it was not difficult then to get our people to come out to the meeting. But there was a faithful few. There were so many who didn't participate. There was many who claim now that they did, and they didn't. over the years, you know, I've seen things, people pass on and they claim they did things, they were involved, but those who were really there know that they were not, you know.
Right.
And some things they said happened really didn't happen. But at that time, there were some churches that even Reverend Shuttlesworth couldn't go to. And I remember one meeting when Reverend Shuttlesworth and Dr. Gaston almost fought at the meeting. Dr. Gaston, he admitted that he was afraid, but he put his money out. But it was a difference in how Shuttlesworth was moving and doing things. It was right here at Reverend Church down here, Metropolitan, AME Zion, I think. They almost got into blows. And there was a dentist in Fairfield at that time, Dr. I can't think of his name, Wilt or something like that. He was at the Nixon building where he was a young dentist, black guy, and he all came between them. You know.
Why did they almost get into?
It was a difference of kind of philosophy, you know. The Shuttlesworth wanted to move, and I think Dr. Gaston was a little slower, you know, about moving. Of course, we could understand that from a business perspective, you know, how, and it got a little heated, and that's what it was. Got into a heated argument, and they had to be separated.
Did others participate in that? Was there a
Oh, yeah.
business cadre and then the movement people, or how did that stack up?
You know,
Or was it just a strong
that was kind of just one his part. It was not such business as such. But now let me tell you how the business came in when Dr. Pitts assumed the presidency of Myers College. And this is when you first got, it started having dialogue between the white community and the black community. I'm gonna tell you, with men like B. Roper Dial, I remember him, I think he was with Sears Roebuck. Emil Hess, I remember him, he was with Parisian. There was another man, James Head, who had a business down there. They would meet at what is now the church Cathedral of the Advent, kind of secret meeting. And at that time, you know, blacks and whites couldn't even meet together.
Right. It's against the law.
Yeah, they had these meetings, and Dr. Pitts, you know, they was trying to establish a dialogue. But those were the whites I remember who were initially involved. They were considered to be kind of level-headed, you know.
And you were a faculty member at Miles. Were you involved in
I was a faculty member at Miles at that time.
So Miles then would play a rather significant role.
They did. They did.
With Dr. Pitts and
Yeah,
yourself and other faculty.
with Dr. Pitts' blessing and with Dr. Pitts' encouragement. And I was the faculty advisor to the students. Frank Dukes was the president of the Student Government Association. And we started, well, the word boycott you couldn't use because they had outlawed boycott, you know. So we just called it selective buying campaign. And we had an old memographing machine down in the printing room where we would print out leaflets, maybe 1,000 of these leaflets, encouraging our people not to shop here. Why spend $3,500 in this section and you can't spend 35 cents for a hot dog in this section, you know?
What actually initiates this campaign, the selective buying campaign? Is it simply because blacks could not sit at the lunch counter?
Right.
Or were there other reasons as well?
No, they could not sit at the lunch counters. You could not eat at those department stores downtown. Even if you spent $50,000 in another section, you could not go and spend 50 cents to buy a hamburger at their lunch counter.
Someone said that at the same time, Miles was